Before we get into the game proper, and we're gonna be doing the single player mode for the most part today, because that's I guess the most conducive to what I do on this channel. I did want to talk a little bit about like why I like Street Fighter because I realize that is sort of like outside of the norm for this channel. So Street Fighter Street Fighter means a lot to me for reasons you may not really expect from me, but I'm going to tell you a little story before we really get started with the game. So, growing up, I have one sister who's younger than me, but no older brothers really. So I was always the eldest sibling. I didn't really have like a lot of like family um, members in my immediate, like, mom, dad, nuclear family type of deal to look up to. But I did have some older cousins who were about 6 to 7 years older than me. And basically, if I like was to look at back at my early childhood life, I think the reason I like video games so much is because of my two older cousins, Matt and Shannon, who were always like into the latest thing, and they like brought over Nintendos and PlayStations when I was growing up. And Shannon's family, my aunt lived out of state from where I live, so I would only see them. Matt lived closer to me, but Shannon lived a few states away. So it would be like a real pleasure when they actually came to visit us. And I'd only see that part of the family maybe like once, twice a year at best. And they would stay for like a week with us. And basically, as kids, what we would do is we would go over to one of our aunt's house or my grandmother's house, and we'd stay there all day and we would play basically video games all day. And this is like basically Matt and Shannon show, and I was much younger than them. They're in their 40s now, and I'm in my 30s. But basically, I would basically just watch them play all kinds of games growing up, and this was like a yearly thing, or maybe like twice a year thing. So this is like one of the highlights of my year. Like as a kid, this is like my favorite thing ever. And the reason I like Final Fantasy is because of Shannon and Matt, and the reason I like Street Fighter is because of Shannon and Matt. So, they would play like Street Fighter Alpha 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2, all day for that week they were there. And like, it was just me watching them. They never would let me play like that much. So I always just kind of like watch them. So I am trash at this game, just to let you know, but I just loved it so much. Just like being in that room with them, it meant so much to me. And like I never really played Street Fighter like at like even half decent level, but I just loved just watching them. That's probably why I even like watching people on Twitch these days, just because I had that growing up. I was always like the younger one to these two, and they were like just like my favorite people. And so, I've always liked Street Fighter ever since probably Alpha 2, Alpha 3, and then going forward from there. Street Fighter 3 I kind of skipped, but other ones I really enjoyed watching. And I just really like the animations. I like the characters. The gameplay is a lot of fun, but it's not something I'm good at. But like, it just means it's just one of those nostalgic things, And I think everyone here in the history of humanity has something like nostalgic from their childhood or early life that really like was important to them. They kind of try to capture that feeling growing up, and that for me, that's basically Street Fighter and Final Fantasy. Now, Final Fantasy, I've kind of taken over in my own way, but Street Fighter's always been something like elusive. But I just love it. That's all you really need to know about me is that I just love the whole like spiel about it, and I wanted to try to get into it a little bit with this entry. So Matt and Shannon, I hope that if I get to show you this video, I hope you get to like watch it and see just like how much that meant to me as a kid. And you guys, even though we don't talk very much anymore because we're old farts and we have kids and families of our own and work and stuff, and we all live like all over the country, that you guys mean the world to me. And you always have, and hope that you always will. And you really need to like tell the people that you care about things like that. So my plan with this little like spiel was to just kind of let them know like that you guys influenced me a ton growing up. So I guess thanks.